Welcome to Game Pass News. It is Thursday, March 31st, 2022. I am here with the best darn co-host a pal could ever have, Mr. Sean Abbott. I'm Nick Metzger. We're going to be chatting about Xbox, about Game Pass, about how PlayStation's going to try to eat some lunch. We got all kinds of stuff chatting about today. But first, before we get into the nitty-gritty of video game details, how's life going, man?
Yeah, it's good. It's going good. Last day of March, so UK's had snow.
Well, of course, yeah.
Mm-hmm. This time last year we were in shorts and t-shirts and sweating. This year I had to take at least an inch of snow off the car. So
nice. It's your turn. Apparently, it finally made it across the ocean because we had it last week. Yeah. We had like all the snows. But yeah, it would snow in the morning and then it would melt in the afternoon. It did that for like 3 days in a row last week. Now we just got rain. Just lots of chilly, cold rain. Well, yeah. So there you go. Things over in my neck of the woods are going pretty good. The kids are like anxious and all just antsy because tomorrow's their last day, and then they get a week off for spring break. So they're pretty much checked out, to be honest. I mean, they're not really. I don't know what learning's going to get done on Friday. I'm not a teacher, but I doubt it's going to be very much if you want to know the truth. So we're not doing anything real special. Probably just hang out at the house, play some video games. Hopefully the weather's supposed to be crap, so I don't know. You had mentioned that Sonic 2 was out, so we'll probably take him to see Sonic. That'll be a fun little time.
That's what I'm picking Logan up from nursery tomorrow. And then we're gonna go treat him to a McDonald's, and then I'm taking him to see Sonic.
Nice, yeah. That's the thing to do. That's what we'll do with the kids next week at some point. Speaking of, I took the wifey's birthday was this last weekend, and I took her out, and I was like, "Listen, what do you want to do?" And she mentioned she was like, I had showed her the crumble cookie thing, and she was like, "I want to go see Channing Tatum's butt." And then go eat crumble cookies. And I was like, dude, that's great. I'm in on that. And
you love yourself some Channing Tatum.
And so we went and saw crumble cookies. She's down here now. She just like popped up. I swear she's like a ghost.
I didn't want to see his butt.
This is live. Here's a shade of red right there. It's a new shade of red. Well, I mean, we did. Whatever happened.
I like Sandra Bullock.
Oh, she likes Sandra Bullock, which that's a whole nother conversation.
I can agree with that
one. Anyways, and then wow, got hot in here. I don't know about you. I was going to tell you.
Happy birthday, Becca.
Anyway, it's true. We saw his butt. Okay, either way, whether she wanted to or not, we did. And then we went and ate some crumble cookies. And so I was up in the air about Yoder's. I said, we had this Yoder's Country Marketplace. Might be no way, man. Crumble beats it out. I mean, these cookies are like twice as big, and they have these like frosting stuff. It's amazing. So I don't know if you got a crumble over there, man, but you should try it out. It's good stuff.
No. But speaking of the whole Twitterverse went a bit crazy, didn't it? Between the Nintendo dads and Crumble,
I know
DMs opened. So,
yeah. No, it's cool stuff. I'm happy for them. They deserve it. I mean, so many of us have tried it thanks to them chatting about Crumble, and we found one up north in Kalamazoo. And so yeah, Sean, we were like, listen, we're gonna get like everybody talking about the 4-box. We get there, we're like, okay, what 4 cookies do we want? And it took us like 2 minutes to be like, what? Hell, we're just gonna get all 6. So we just bought all 6. They have like 6 a week, and it was like, well, why not? And so we ate on them, and then the kids had some when they got back they were at their grandma's, and then my mom had one, and so yeah, they made the distance. Anyway, so that's what I've been up to. Well, enough of that. Let's get into top stories. The top story, Sean, I don't know if you're aware of this, but this will probably be our last episode because Game Pass is over. PlayStation is out. They're just gonna, they're done. Game Pass is done. PlayStation is here. It's all over. Their subscription service is in. So no more Game Pass, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, all right, okay. Come at us, Sony. Tell you what, if somebody who plays a lot of PlayStation starts a Sony like Game Pass style podcast, we should have turf wars.
Oh yeah, we would totally, and I'd love it. Somebody should. I don't care if it's a subscription, but somebody in the Nintendo Dads needs to start a PlayStation deal. So listen. I mean, I don't know who it needs to be, but somebody needs to do it. It would be awesome. We'd have them on here like all the time. I mean, we could do Elden Ring things. Oh my gosh, it'd be great. Yeah.
We could have a weekly debate of whose service is better than whose.
Yeah, who brought out the best games this week? So, really, they are quite similar. I mean, they seem quite similar to me. The only thing is PlayStation has more of a back catalog, quite frankly. Like, just to be honest.
And that's the thing. They really need, if they want to be really successful, they have to push that back catalog quite quick to really grab everybody. Because that's I've got the ear to the ground now, and I'm looking and I'm thinking, I don't have the room for a PS5, but I could still dip in and get a PS4 Pro or a PS4 and quite happily play the back catalog of games like Driver, like the original Gran Turismos and stuff like that. And that would pull me across to playing the PlayStation a little bit, but it's how quick they get that out.
I am never buying a PlayStation. Well, I won't say never, but as long as I'm deep into Xbox, I'm not buying a PlayStation. And it's not against PlayStation. There are games I'd love to play. I just don't have the time to play 3 consoles. I don't have the time to play 2 consoles. Let's be honest. I could just have a Switch or an Xbox, and I'd be just fine. But I have 2. But if they do like a streaming stick, like Xbox is, chatting about, I'm in. I'll buy it. I'm a sucker.
Yeah.
I'll buy it.
If they do an X-Dong.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's better than if PlayStation does a Play Dong. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, I'm just gonna.
A PS Dong.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That sounds a little bit better. That sounds
too close to the bone.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. What has happened? Dang. Well. Okay, let's try to pull away so we don't have to have an explicit tag on this week's podcast between Channing Tatum's butt and, all kinds of other stuff. Anyways, but yeah, I mean, as a guy who doesn't play PlayStation, hasn't played PlayStation, just think of the games you would have to play for the first time. I mean, really good games. It would be amazing. So, as much as I'm a Game Pass guy, I'll look at it and say, yeah, that's got a good service. But PlayStation stopped short and is not going to give you day one games on their thing. Is that a killer? Do you think that's gonna? I mean, what do you think?
That's the thing. People are going to turn around and go, look, so $15 a month with the Xbox, and I get to play games like Forza Horizon 5, Halo Infinite, the big 2 games from last year. You get on day of release to enjoy, like it's part of your subscription. Now, God of War, they're going to do another God of. If they do another God of War, you're still going to have to pay full market value for that, as well as your £15 a month subscription. That'd turn me off. That would be like. The only reason why I tried Halo Infinite and got back into Forza was because they were free. So if you want more people to play your titles and have the whole word of mouth thing going on, make them free day of release for those people that are paying for your subscription service.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. But I still think you're going to get a bunch of people to jump on. I mean, if I had a PlayStation, I'd jump on this. I mean, there's just so much. Unless you're a PlayStation. So just imagine if it was the Switch. If it was, what am I saying? Never mind. That as much as that made sense. As much as that made sense in my head, I realized, oh yeah, it's what they do. So it would be interesting. We should get a PlayStation guy on here and chat about this though, because so as a Nintendo guy. Am I interested in all the old titles? I guess I am. So maybe PlayStation guys are interested in all their old titles too, and they're just retreading the same deal. Except really, PlayStation's is a lot better than Nintendo's. Let's be honest.
See, I have some nostalgia for some old PlayStation games like Driver and the original Gran Turismo. Jumping Jack Flash was like the first 3D platformer I played on the 128-bit console. So. there's a small amount of nostalgia to go back and play those games, but is it strong enough to then have to buy the console, pay the subscription? Probably not. If I was going to get things like the next Spider-Man, if that was part of my subscription and so on and so forth, then yes, I probably would, and I'd have to juggle a third console between the games that I played. But hopefully, they all kind of drop different things at different times for me to do that, because I'm the same as you. I struggle at the moment to find the time to play two consoles. So.
Well, isn't the new Spider-Man is like an extra offering, isn't it? Miles Morales, isn't that in this? I thought it was.
Yeah, but if they do another one.
Oh, another one. Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, you're right. For me, like I said, if they did a streaming thing, I'd pull the trigger on it, and I would gladly pay for it, and I would play all the old games. And you know what? If they do a Spider-Man this year and I don't play it for 2 years, I don't care. Like, I just like, I don't need to be number one in this particular sphere. Like, I mean, I want to play day one Switch games. I want to play day one Xbox games. If I don't play day one PS games, I'm fine. If I play Horizon Forbidden West in a year or two, that's cool. I'm good with that. I still get to play it. I'm not going to feel like I'm out anything. So yeah, I think the plan's good. Just to be honest, I'm totally down for it. Will it eat Xbox's lunch? No, really. Do you find them as competitors?
Not yet.
Not yet?
No, and only because Xbox have worked quite hard over the last few years to improve the service that they have at the moment. So to try and come in and match that and beat it in one sitting, I think is going to be difficult. I think Sony are probably going to see a 2 or 3 year growth on this. To really get the speed, to get the traction that they need. They need to really entice people into it. And
see, I just don't think they're competing. They're competing. I don't think they're competing. I don't think they're competing. I think they both have things that they offer. I mean, the subscriptions are obviously similar, but I think they both have things that they offer that are not the same. I mean, one's offering a service of back catalog games more than anything else, and the other one is offering brand new day one titles. I don't know. I think they're separate enough that they don't cross over all that much. Kind of like Hulu and Netflix, which, although those are kind of like starting to converge more, but like when they first started, Hulu was like
reality TV.
Yeah, they were just like real like TV episodes from the past, and Netflix was like movies, and like they're like, sure, are they the same service? But they don't really compete because they were two different things. Now Hulu they've both kind of walked on top of the other's turf now, so that doesn't so much hold true. But when they first started, that was very true. It was like, well, yeah, Hulu's TV, Netflix is like movies. Okay, we get it.
Well, see, I'd compare this more to Amazon Prime Video and Netflix.
Yeah, you think they're more similar?
Netflix does the bigger bangers. So you've got things like Stranger Things, Big Mouth. The more interesting stuff. Where Prime didn't. Prime kind of had a few decent movies, a few decent series. Weren't making a lot of their own stuff, and then as they eventually grew a bit more traction and got bigger, you had things like the Grand Tour and things like that. So they took on Jeremy Clarkson and Richard Hammond and James May. Chucked a load of money at them. They're making their own drama series now and touching on trying to make their own movies and bring big movies to them before they reach Netflix and Sky. So I think that's what Sony's trying to do. I think Sony are going to try and come in and be like, well, Microsoft has spent years, nearly a decade, making this subscription service and building it from the ground up, slowly and gradually introducing different things. They're coming in and I can see it in the next 3 years that they're going to try and push this and grow it and make it as strong as Game Pass is for Xbox for Sony to be a big earner because it's the way to go. It is a big earner. We've seen how much money it's been making for Xbox for them to be able to start the acquisition of Activision and Blizzard. Mm-hmm. So Sony kind of looking at if Microsoft have done it this well and made this much money, can we not do the same? Can we not take their can we not take how it works and roll with it and make it fit our business model, and slowly introduce things so it starts that you don't get the day ones. In 12 months' time, they might say you can get some of the exclusive day ones that are Sony only, but not all of them. And kind of, can they do that? Can they entice enough people and keep casting the rod and getting more people to bite? Maybe not poaching people from Game Pass, but getting enough people interested that it starts making them decent amount of money.
Yeah, and just because we're not getting first-party PlayStation titles doesn't mean we won't get day one. Not getting them day one first-party PlayStation titles. I don't think that means we're not going to get day one third-party titles. There was a Ninja game that just dropped on their free games that was day one, and I can't remember. Shadow Warrior or something. Something Shadow Warrior. Or Shadow Warrior something. And so yeah, I mean, they still might try to cut some of those deals. And I think really for PlayStation, they have a better chance of making money off of this than Xbox does right now or Microsoft does right now with Game Pass, because they own these games. I mean, they're working off of a back catalog, kind of like Nintendo. I mean, they're just retreading what they got, which kudos on them. If you can get away with that and make money with it, then why not? That's what I say. Anything else on PlayStation subscription?
No, I think it's just going to be interesting to watch. I think it's going to be something that Microsoft are probably going to keep a very close eye on.
What do they call their thing where they give you the 3 games? It's their version of games with gold. Do you remember? Do you know what that's called?
It was just was it not just PlayStation Plus? It was part of that.
Oh, it didn't have its own name. There. Okay, I thought it had its own name. I mean, when I see Jesse, I think it's Jesse normally that lays out on the PlayStation Discord channel what they are. I usually am like, dang, those are better games. I'm not gonna lie, those are just they're better than games with gold games. I think if they keep bringing those out plus what they're doing, I think it'll be fun to watch. Like you said, I think that's a good way to say it. Sean, did you pull the trigger on a Paramount Plus subscription?
No.
Do you plan to once, in a month after 4 or 5 episodes have dropped?
Maybe.
Knife
possibly.
To the heart, Sean.
I've started watching Punisher, so. Yeah.
Well, okay. Here, I've watched the first episode, and I will say it's good. It's not great. It's good, and the CGI in parts is a little sketchy. I mean, I thought it would be a little bit higher quality from what I was seeing. I don't know. That's my own take. Lots of I can't remember who said it, but somebody said it on Twitter. Lots of fan service. 100% lots of fan service. In the helmet stuff, grabbing the warthog cannon, all those things, using the sniper rifle. I mean, all those things. Hearing the sound when the Spartan armor gets dropped down to or when they lose the armor. All those things happen, and it is a lot of fan service. It's fun to watch. I will say, I don't think this is a spoiler, but the helmet comes off in the first episode. And
they should have dragged that out. That's something that should have been end of the first season.
I was surprised. I was surprised, Sean. I really didn't think it would come up, but I will say for the scene, it fits. It fits. How it's not like he was just I'm gonna take my dude. There was a whole scene thing that was going on, and it does fit the scene. So I guess that's what I'll say. So I'll keep watching. I'm intrigued. I'm in. I'll see where it goes. I'm not amazed with it, but it's certainly not the worst streaming show I've ever watched so far. So, yeah.
Well, the only reason why I'm on the fence about it is we're still watching Grey's Anatomy, so trying to quickly catch up with that and get to the point that it's currently airing all the time. And then that's what we're watching at home, and then if I'm at work and we get a bit of a quiet period, I'm trying to work my way through what Marvel offers on the Disney Plus because I'm a big Marvel fan. Still haven't seen the new Spider-Man, even though I was supposed to see it for my birthday last year.
Oh my gosh!
I'm now waiting for it to come out on Blu-ray. So
that makes sense.
I'll snap that up on Blu-ray.
Go ahead. Sorry.
So yeah, I started watching Punisher a while back. I watched like the first 2 or 3 episodes, and then something else caught my attention, or I just ran out of time to be able to watch it. So I've had to restart that again. So yeah, that's currently what I'm watching.
Nice. I was gonna say being a Marvel fan, wanting to watch them all, that's like a full-time job. Like I mean, there's just my wife and I were just talking about that. Like there's just so much out. I can't even imagine to keep up with the whole thing.
I literally have the Punisher to finish, and then the newest Spider-Man film, and I've watched everything.
That is impressive. So, yeah. I mean, when I watch the TV and I see new. And when I watch TV and I see new like trailers, I'm always like, what is this guy? I can't even keep track. I don't know.
There's a lot happening. The new phase is starting, so has started, and everything's slowly coming out, and there's lots of stuff to put in place for that. And there's another guy on shift that's a big Marvel fan like me, and every time we cross paths, there's a lot of, have you seen this? Have you watched the trailer for this? Did you watch the last bit of this? And like we're constantly back and forth with things. So yeah, we're both really excited for where that's going. That's
cool. Cool deal. So the Halo series, it started, I think it drops on Friday. So I think, there will be 2 episodes by tomorrow. And if you're listening to this podcast, you'll already have 2 episodes to go through. By the way, redeeming the Paramount Plus perk was a touch of work. I'm not gonna lie. Like I tried to do it on my phone. Was it my phone?
You said you tried to do it on your phone and struggled, and you had to do it through your Xbox.
No, you can't do it through your Xbox. No, yeah, you can. Yes, you couldn't do it through the PC. I don't know. I got confused. There are 2 ways to do it. It was either the PC or the Xbox or the phone and the Xbox. And I couldn't get one of them to work, so I had to do it through the Xbox. And then I had to go on the... I've never been on the browser site, on the browser on the Xbox. That is awful. I mean, awful. And I know you can connect keyboards and stuff like that to it. And so I get it. That's fine. But I don't have a keyboard to it. So if you don't have a keyboard and you're just doing it with a controller, it's awful. But I did finally get it done. It took about 30 minutes, but I got there. But that is available, and don't let it sit. It is the stupid thing where it's like if you already have Paramount Plus, it doesn't work. You have to be a new subscriber. I think that's always lame, but whatever. So anyways, let's move on. Xbox created a new publishing arm. And if this is not a corporate name for something, God bless them. The Cloud Gaming Organization.
CGO.
It's just the worst name ever. It's a very un-Microsoft name, At least Microsoft gaming name. They're usually pretty good about making catchy titles. Not on this sucker, though, let me tell you. The idea is that it helps developers create exclusive games on Microsoft's cloud for second-party publishing. So they're third-party developers that are published by Microsoft, that are helped by Microsoft. Kind of like, I don't know, is that kind of like when Nintendo has like next level, like make a title for them? There's that second-party publishing. Is that kind of thing?
Yeah, that's the yeah. And then what I think this is, because it's around the cloud basis, is I believe this is the pushing the direction to the hardware that for the Xbox streaming stick.
Yeah.
Or the X-Dong. I think this is the okay. We need a service that is reliable and very strong with backup servers and this, that, and the other. And they need all the hardware so then we can then push more content onto the cloud and make it a better service. So I think this is step one to backing that rumor.
Do you think that their plan is to have a cloud store? Or is it just going to be like a cloud, so I mean if these are cloud games, it seems like they're exclusive to the cloud. Now I don't remember if it says that. They're exclusive to Microsoft. I don't know if they're exclusive to the cloud. But if that's the case, like are they looking to have just like a cloud store?
Potentially, yeah. I mean,
so like it'd be Stadia, basically.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you can run your current console like that at the moment. It's just not everything supported, and it's not a fantastic service, especially for me and my experience with it. I mean, I know you've had better experiences, but in terms of like for me, it's always seems a bit patchy. I don't know if it's because of my internet or what. I just don't seem to be able to get on very well with it. A lot of lag, a lot of jitteriness and stuff like that in the games. Which is the reason why I don't use the cloud service much. But I suppose if they're wanting to build a better system for the cloud gaming to run on, going to somebody that handles like Stadia, people like that can handle the streaming kind of things, even if they're like you say, they run alongside things like Amazon and all for the Fire Stick, because that service is flawless in most parts. So, and that's what makes me worry sometimes, that it isn't my internet when it comes to the cloud gaming, because I could be streaming, my daughter can be streaming, we can be doing this, and the internet doesn't follow. But as soon as I try and play a cloud game through the Xbox, it kind of just trips up over itself. So,
yeah, so I have had good experience with xCloud, except for when I tried to play Halo, especially after playing it natively on the Switch, after playing it natively on Xbox, and then trying to go to xCloud. It just felt heavy. Like a Master Chief just felt like he didn't move the way he moved on my Xbox, and I just didn't like it at all. I tried it one time and I could not handle it, and so I went back to just playing it on the Xbox. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I think you're right. I think it's a great way to go. This cloud gaming organization, I kind of wonder if it's going to be akin to like the Apple Plus thing that they did. I don't know if you ever you watched the Apple thing where it was like they did a whole, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, they did a whole thing of like, yeah, Apple came alongside of me, and now I made this app that I wouldn't otherwise be able to make, and now I put it on this Apple Plus gaming thing. It was like when Apple Arcade, that's what it is. It's like when Apple Arcade first came out, they did this whole thing. I kind of wonder if that's where Xbox is going, except more of on a streaming focus than just like a mobile focus, obviously. And so it's like, yeah, I made this game thanks to Xbox's help, and I put it on their cloud thing. So we'll see. We probably won't start seeing fruits from this for quite a while, I would imagine.
No.
Okay, moving on. Final top story. It's funny. We started out with not a lot of top stories, but by the end of the day, it was like they just kept rolling in. It was a news heavy day today. E3 is officially canceled.
Yes, it is. There was a tweet from, let me make sure his name, Will Powers, who is the PR lead for Razer, and he dropped a tweet which kind of read, just got an email, it's official, E3 Digital is officially cancelled for 2022. Lots of mixed feelings about this. So, yeah, that was, 3 hours ago today? So,
yeah, it's a bummer. It's a real bummer for, I think, gamers more than anything else. It just kind of scatters where everything's going to be, right? I mean,
yeah, well, that's it. E3 is like our Comic-Con, isn't it? It's our big event that we get so excited for, and you kind of, and I'm one of them. I'm one of the people that like set dates and times to do stuff, and
Mhm.
sit and watch it, and like, yeah, it's kind of like the game of Super Bowl.
Yeah, it really is. 100% that's true. Um, I can see why it's gone. I don't know that it'll ever be back. I really don't. Maybe if they can go back to physical, maybe I can see people, but still, I mean, man, it's a lot of money to get people to come to one spot, to all the printing and all the set pieces and everything that goes into that. Um, and now, because of I mean, not just because of the pandemic, but the pandemic definitely spurred it on. A lot of these companies have really put money into their social platform and their video. And now it's like, well, wait, I can have the same amount of people and the same people that, at least for the bigger developers and the bigger publishers. They get like Ubisoft and EA, Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, all those people. They can just say, "Hey, we got a direct or a showcase or a play, state of play, whatever Sony calls it." And everybody's still going to be there for it.
Yeah, off the back of E3 being cancelled, are we going to see like an Xbox showcase event? Are we going to see a big Sony like showcase event? And Nintendo going to do a larger direct with a larger treehouse and stuff like that? Are we going to see each console manufacturer, so Xbox, Nintendo, Sony? Are we going to see Meta, like the guys behind the Oculus and stuff like that?
Oh yeah,
and Hive? We're going to see those companies now go, shit, we've got no way we can pump all our plans for the next 18 months and get people hyped behind us. Like, what do we do? Are we going to see them like? There's going to have to be something, because it's one of the key features of the gaming calendar. There's going to have to be. Well, I'm hoping there's something.
I don't think there does.
I don't know what I'm going to plan my money around.
I mean, listen, they're all going to have something, but my point is, I don't think they're freaked out. Like, I think the indies are freaked out, and I feel bad for them because they need the help and the platform to get heard in this market. But the big guys, the ones all I just named, they don't need ESA or Jeff Keighley or IGN. They don't need any of that. Like, all they need to do is crap out that they're going to have a direct in 3 days, and then crap out the video, and everybody's going to flock to it. Everybody that would have been at E3 is going to flock to it. They're going to report on it. They're going to watch it. They're going to be there. And you know what they didn't have to do? They didn't have to plan around E3 schedule. They didn't have to give views off of their social platform to E3 social platform. They got to keep it all in house. So to them, I don't know that this is a loss. And I kind of wonder if the digital event got canceled because exactly of that. E3 was like, "Hey guys, come on. We'll all be friends and we can come over here." And they're like, "Well, I mean, we're all friends, but let's just call each other."
E3 is a larger audience to aim for. So you've got a mixture of people that are going to be watching. You're going to have Nintendo only fans watching some Xbox stuff because it's there and they have to watch it, and some Sony stuff because it's there and they have to watch it, where like Nintendo can turn around and be like, we can target our fan base so much easier on our own and not have to worry them about not having to watch stuff that doesn't interest them. And Xbox are only going to be the same. And if you can get a targeted audience, how much more feedback and how much more reaction do you get in terms of game sales and stuff when you just you're using a target audience?
Yeah. I think this hurts the indies a ton. Or at least a good bit, especially the ones that aren't going to get, I mean, there's the Nindy, there's the ID Xbox. I'm sure PlayStation has something. So some of those will get picked up there. But those ones that don't get picked up, where did they trumpet what they're doing now that it actually gets heard by the same amount of people? But the other ones, I don't think they care. By the way, Hambone, how you doing, man? Feel free to jump in. Tell us what you think about E3 being canceled. Hambone, by the way, this is my Elden. This is the last time I do it. But Hambone Johnny, Elden Ring update. He beat it like 7 times. No, I don't know. He beat it a bunch of times and has like 100%ed the game. Got all the achievements. Maybe not 100%ed, but got all the achievements in the game. Guy's crazy good. That's all I gotta say.
So he's gone from Pumpkin Boy to Pumpkin Lord to Pumpkin God.
Yeah, I love it. That's
Yeah.
totally true. That is totally true. So kudos to you, man. I probably won't ever be back, and that might be the last From game I get, and I'm happy for them and for everybody who loves it.
You tried it, you didn't like it. That's fine.
The problem is though, Sean.
That's what we say to the kids.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. I took a thank you bite, and I said no thank you after that bite. He tried to be friends with benefits, and everyone said no thanks. That's what Hambone Johnny says about it, and I think that's 100% true. That's a good way to say it. So yeah, E3 canceled. There's a rumor. Is this a rumor or is it coming? I don't know. You tell me.
Well, I stuck it in the top rumors section because there was no solid date.
Fair
so
enough.
It's announced that Xbox Game Pass are currently working on a family style plan, which is great. I don't know if this is something to tackle what PlayStation have done and to try and keep in line with what Nintendo are doing. But yeah, it's cool. I don't know if we can make it work for us. That'd be really nice. But I think as you read through the article, you said that it's kind of locked to the country that you're in.
Yeah, it's locked to your region. Yeah. I don't think this is the case. I know they're going to get flack for this, and they're going to be like, oh, well, this is just, you're just responding to PlayStation. I don't think Xbox literally was just like, well, we got something too. We're going to do a family plan. We're going to do a family plan. That's what we're going to do. I don't think that's the case. I don't think it is at all. It was just like when PlayStation came out and acquired whatever studio they acquired that I can't remember, right after Xbox's Activision. Everybody's like, oh, the PlayStation's just responding. No, they weren't. That had to be in the works for a good long time. You don't just like go out and acquire a studio in 2 weeks. Like, yeah. So I don't think this is a response to them. I think they've known that this has been a complaint from their crowd for a while, that they've wanted some type of family plan deal. And this is just their way to,
It was a question in the Discord from somebody about it as well. Just recently, I can't remember who it was that said, can I share this with my child that lives in the house and we use the same one? So I know for a fact that if it does come out, I will go for the family plan, because then it allows Jaya to play it, and I'll probably share it with my dad and my brother.
Yeah. I'll do the family plan. Why not? And I'm sure I can find some people, Now, it all depends if they're going to. So the rumor is, we'll call it a rumor for now because that's a good idea. The rumor is that it's a family plan. It can house 5 Game Pass accounts. They're all separate, but they pay you pay much less than if you were paying for 5 separate Game Pass accounts. That's all we really know. And we don't know when it's coming out, but possibly in the near future. That's what the article said. This was, I think, Windows Central was the one that came out with this.
Xbox Era.
Xbox Era reported on it, but Windows Central was the one that broke it. So there you go, Jez Gordon on Windows Central. So if I can do that and then hit up Discord and be like, hey, is there 4 more Americans that want to join this plan with me? Because I'm happy to share a little bit of savings.
I could probably name 3 of them. One of them's in chat. One of them is Tim, and the other is potentially Justin.
Yeah, he's in Canada. And Justin and I already tried. I got a good deal on some. Yes, Hambone's in. All right, you're right. I got one already. And Justin and I already tried to share a code with him for like a good deal I got on some Xbox Game Pass Ultimate codes, and they don't share. So they're going to consider Canada. It's not like North America. It's definitely Canada and America. Yeah.
Okay, so there's Sammy, who is Tim's son.
Oh yeah, he's got 2. He's got 2 at least. Maybe it's just Tim and me and Hambone. Sounds good. Tim doesn't know it, but he's in. Okay, good job. Yeah. So I think it's a good deal, though. I mean, little help to their fans. Man, 40 minutes of top stories and rumors and all that jazz, pal. There's a lot of stuff.
They would. Yeah, we were gonna say we had a couple of quiet weeks, so we would due some decent news to talk about.
Yeah,
so
yeah, that's
I'm not gonna complain.
That's true. Good idea. Don't complain, Nick. All right, Xbox Spotlight. Sean, why don't you go first, sir? What you been playing?
So I got rid of Elden Ring. That went. I traded it in. I couldn't get on with it. I tried. I kept dipping in. I kept trying. It's not my style of gameplay. And like you, I tried. It's the first Souls game I've ever played. And so that went back. I got almost all my money back on that, which was pretty cool. And got Kirby. I know if you want to go from two different spectrums of games, I went from playing Elden Ring and having my ass whooped to swallowing everything that's in its path and played Kirby. So Elden Ring's gone. I've been playing Kirby quite a bit at work, which is, I won't admit.
The story's just getting better and better. I love it.
Yeah. So I've been playing Kirby at work. So that's gone. But Warzone has been reinstalled. I had a really good long chat with my dad. Asked him a couple of questions about the new stuff. They've revamped the Rebirth map. There's been a lot of changes to the main Warzone map. Verdansk has disappeared. And we've got a completely new named map that I've not played. So I dipped back into that. It's installed. I jumped in one match just to make sure all the texture packs worked. They've got a new high graphics engine, not engine, but system where it streams the graphics while you're playing as well as having them hard downloaded. So I gave that a try, and it runs so much cleaner now on the Series X, which is really nice.
Cool.
So go back into that. I haven't touched any more Tunic because I haven't had time. So that's something that hopefully this weekend we're down to just the one child and we've got some snow and crap weather. We won't be going anywhere. So I'll hopefully get back into some Tunic. And the other game I've been playing is Mario Kart 8 because I have I got beat. So the Tokyo Blur track, which I thought I was absolutely homing in and getting killer times, I was knocked from first to third. So I only scored 9 points instead of 11. So this week, the Ninja Hideaway track, which is what the Dads After Dark are currently running as part of their monthly mayhem. I have a time now that's in the low 2 minutes and 5s. So I'm doing very well with that.
Yeah, you're being pretty cheeky in there. Every once in a while, I go in there and see you canceled your ghost, and you're showing pictures with like scratched out seconds or like thousands of seconds. I've been having a fun time watching you in there. I can tell you're really enjoying yourself. That's cool.
This track it's so hard because it's not the same. You've got two different routes you can take through it, and depending on how quick you are on one lap, means you can use the other route on a different lap. So it's been a lot of playing around to try and get the fastest time, but I've got it down to a point now where I'm shaving off like a 1/10 of a second every time. So yeah.
So before I move on, anything else for you?
No, not yet. I've got my eye on F121 because the campaign mode for that is more interesting than the previous ones, where you can actually create your own driver and your own you've got to work your way through the teams and stuff like that. So I might give that a try, depending on how much time's taken up by Warzone and finishing Tunic, because I'm after all the items in that game.
Okay, wait. All right, let's just have this out, Sean. You think you are going to get all the items in Tunic without using a guide?
Yes.
In this year, you think that's going to happen?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. The thing is that the puzzles, once I've solved them, are so blatantly obvious.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, it's like, why is like there's one point where you've got to use two abilities at the same time, and I'm trying not to spoil too much, but you have to use two abilities at the same time, to make an enemy become something you can do something else with to get to something else. And like it gives you the exact thing that you have to do. But it's really difficult to work out exactly what you need to do and when you need to do it. So, and I love that. I love that about games. I love the like having to come back and scratch my head and kind of think about things and stuff like that. So, and I like little puzzles and I like having to work things out. And hence, like a little bit of pillow talk between me and the wife last night. She's got a weighted blanket and she had this weighted blanket over her in bed. And she's like, I wonder how much weight you'd have to have over you like this for it to suffocate you. Not like to squash you enough to be suffocated so you couldn't breathe. And I lay there for a while in bed and I'm really quietly thinking, I'm like, I don't know how much weight, but I reckon the force that it'd need would have to be about 50 pounds per square inch of your total body area to stop you from being able to breathe enough to suffocate you by squashing. And she was like, you're an idiot. And I was laid there for a good 10 minutes working this out, trying to work out like how much air pressure you can hold in your lungs, which is about 2 bar. So, yeah, I was like, no.
I was waiting for you to be like 50 pounds per square inch, and she's over there like, and how much do you weigh? And what is your surface area? Could you do that math for me, honey? Because I'm looking on Amazon right now for a weighted blanket.
Yeah. I mean, the one that she's got now, the one she's got at the moment, is 8 kilos. It's awful. I can't stand it. She loves it. It's like she puts it on her and she says she can just feel all the stress disappear. I put it on me and I'm like, I feel trapped.
Yeah. To each their own, right? Yeah, that's some pretty awesome pillow talk. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Married life.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, man, I don't know. So one, talk about guides. I had this thought late last year. I was gonna say late last year. Of like, listen, because I was with you. I was like, listen, I don't do guides. I get 100% on stuff, and if I can't. And for me, and this is just me, but for me, my problem was this. It was like, well, listen, I want to do all these things. And I was born this way because I got 3 freaking games a year and I didn't have anything else to do. So it was like, well, sure, I don't want to fly through these games by using guides, and I want to get 100% or else I won't have anything to play for 4 months. And so, but now I have too many games. I have games that come out all the time that I'm like, I want to play, and I can play, and I don't have any time. And so for me, it was like, okay, wait, like I'm not going to use a guide on everything. I just beat Psychonauts without a guide. I didn't 100% it. I don't have plans to go back to 100% it, quite frankly. But also, like, for me to have beaten Tunic with the Golden Path route, without a guide, I would still be playing it. Guaranteed. Like that game, and you are right. When you see the puzzles, you either figure it out or the puzzle is kind of showing to you. Like with me with the guide, I'm like, oh, okay, okay. But the amount of time it would have taken me to make that logical leap, I have no idea. I mean, some of those puzzles are legit crazy.
Yeah. I know. There's a section. There's an island that you kind of stand on, and there's like a little trail of mud that goes off into the sea in all these weird angles. And the camera changes and emphasizes the square of land. And I know there is something to do with that. And I know that it is something to do with the amount of time that you spend on there. From the clues, it's the amount of time you've got to be on there. But I don't know where you have to stand. I don't know what else you have to do while that. So I've come away from that. I'm thinking there's got to be more. There'll be things later on that you do where you get the little side notes that just appear on instruction booklets. So, but yeah, and it's because it's got that guide style thing built into it. It's got the instruction booklet built into the game that has driven me to want to do it without having to use a guide. I mean, I've used guides in the past on games when, like yourself, I've got through the game, I've beaten it, I've done as many as the puzzles I can think of, and it's like there's nothing else I want to play. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to try and like either figure out the puzzles or if it becomes too much and I've got that drive to want to get everything, I will look up for part of the explanation
Mhm.
and then try and figure out the rest. So,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I will say while we kind of just hopped into this guide thing because it just whoa.
Sorry.
I don't know
dropped
who that. Oh, that was you. Oh wow. Okay, I thought maybe it was me. Well, I'm glad it's not my fault. I will say I asked this question online and Mr. Blanco John gave a really like thought out answer, which I appreciate. And so I just wanted to kind of go over for a little bit. He says, for me personally, I feel like when a game forces you to use a guide, it's a flaw in the game design. I enjoyed, and there is like two sides to this. Like, so I don't know if Tunic is forcing you to use a guide. It's going to take a lot of logical effort, but you could probably figure it out. But with that said, I enjoyed every moment of Elden Ring until the last 15 hours or so when I was forcibly glued to my web browser to get the items seemingly necessary to beat later bosses. Can I use the guide to find what I need or find the right strategy for a particular boss? Sure. Can I look up videos to find the right way to cheese to beat the dude? Sure. But I should be given the tools to do it all on my own.
and
which I appreciate.
And that's what I think Tunic is doing for us. I think Tunic gives you all the stuff that you need, but only when you've done certain parts of the game and you've got to certain areas in the game and you potentially use the mechanic that you need to figure that puzzle out. They then give you the little jotted notes on a different page. So then when you look through the guide again, you go, hey, that wasn't there earlier, but that would work. So you then got to go back to,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like the original Ocarina of Time, not the 3DS remastered one that had the fixed water temple. I never used it. Even the freaking trade quest to get the larger sword.
Sure.
I didn't use a guide for that. Me and my dad sat and figured that out, and we like through trial and error and things like that. And that's what I that got me into stuff like the love of that got me into wanting to do it. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like I said, it wasn't really until this year where I was like, listen, I want to finish some of these games because I'm not like if I don't on some of these things. There were two pieces for me. There was one, the guide issue, which really Tunic is the first one where I was like, okay, if I want to beat this game, I need to use a guide. Like I'm not, unless there's another option you can take where you just fight something. It reminds me kind of like Undertale, and I got the bad version of Undertale, so I really didn't want to go the path that I thought might be the bad ending. I didn't want to get that with Tunic, so I was like, no, I really want this ending, but the only way I'm going to get it is with a little bit of help. And then the second thing was for me 100% in games. I had to like drop that mindset of like I'm going to play this game until it's 100% because I don't have time to do that. I mean, if I really want to,
for me, assuming the bad ending is defeating the air.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. That's my.
So
guess.
that's what I'm trying to avoid as well. So I'm currently now trying to go to all the places you can pray to get to somewhere else to get a different item.
There you go. I like it.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, so that's Tunic. That's our talk about guides. Hey, if you want to use a guide, that's great. If you don't, that's great too. What Sean and I always say is you play games the way you want to play games because games are supposed to be fun.
We're a huge advocate for play the games the way you want to play them.
That's right.
And that's what makes listening to us sometimes really interesting is we have a very difference in opinion on the way to play things. So
yeah, for sure. 2 games from me. Once again, Sean, I never thought if you would have said, Nick, you're going to make it all the way through March and you're going to be a game a week, I would have said you're freaking nuts. It's never going to happen. But I beat Psychonauts this week, which continues my 1 game a week. And I'm not really trying to do this. I'm just kind of, picking a game and going and just playing it with that new mindset. And I'm really enjoying. I've really kind of found my way with Game Pass because I was really unsatisfied after I looked back last year and thought, man, I didn't really beat anything. Like, I mean, I bet I beat probably like 5 or 6 games, and probably 4 of those were Nintendo games. And it was like, well, all right, that, you know, there's just something was about it that was like, well, I did a lot, but I don't feel like I did what I want to do in gaming. And so, yeah, I'm really loving it. I went through Psychonauts. I will say this game was tough for me. I love the gameplay, the platforming. I think it's fun in a lot of ways. I feel like the story, I started to get vested in the story closer to the end. And I mean the end. But I feel like there's so much fluff. If they would have stayed on more of a path to tell a story, I don't know. And maybe I'll come back to this because I may not have it worked out in my head yet either why. But there's something about it that fell off. The story is deep. It's understandable. It's not hard to understand. But for some reason, it didn't stick with me until the very end when I was like, oh, I was kind of like, I get it now. But in the beginning, I just feel like I was all over it. It was like, go do this, go do that. And I wasn't really sure why I was doing it. So I had issues. With that. My other issue on the gameplay side was your special abilities you get. Man, if they would have put that on a dial, I would have been much happier. I really hated the like, oh wait, no, I don't, I need the right thing. And I mean, kudos, you know, the game pauses unlike everything else I've played recently, like Tunic and Elden. So like when you stop the game literally does stop. You don't have to worry about being killed. So it's not so much of like you can't do it and win, because you certainly can. You can go to your specialties, realign them, and then go back to the game and you're fine. But it just kind of pulls you out of this experience. You know, I'm fighting this guy. I just want to fight him. Let me just press a button, bring up all my specialties, choose the ones I want to realign while I'm on the fly, and then do it. But it's not that way. And so I didn't appreciate that. And yeah, I think Hambone's right. The middle drags in this game. And but when you finally get on the path, it's a good game. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. So that's the two things that turned me off to the point where I probably won't go back to the game. Is that I got to the point where it was beginning to drag, and I felt like I wasn't achieving much. Unlike at the beginning of the game, where you feel like you're achieving quite a bit, and then that menu system for selecting stuff, you'd be in the middle of something. Like, say you're in the middle of something, and you're like right in the height of it, and you're interested, and you're gripped by it, and then all of a sudden you've got to pause the game, go to a different menu, select this, put this in, and then go back in. It's like, okay, no.
Yeah. And there were times when, and I mean, this is on me, I tried to keep like 2 specific things on the right trigger and bumper on the right bumpers, and then I would switch everything on the left. But sometimes something would happen, and so I did die a couple times where I was like pressing that trigger thinking something else was there. And I mean, it's on me. I can look down to the right and see what symbol's on that trigger. But yeah, it's you know, nobody has done multi-special abilities as well as Metroid Dread. I just want to say that. Like,
yeah, that was, if people need to copy that system, they want to do multi.
Yeah, it's just so good. And I mean, I know it got bashed on for being a lot of buttons, because it was. Sometimes you had to hold, I don't know, you had to hold like a trigger and press another button to shoot, because you were activating different specialties by pressing different button combos. But man, it feels good. I mean, it's all available to you all the time. And that just feels the way like it should be. So yeah, kudos to them on that. And then I've been playing Kirby with the kids, and man, have I been loving it. I mean, it's just a lot of fun. I was telling you before we started podcasting, the kids are to a point now to where I kind of like sit down and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, no, okay, you know, and they're just doing the game, and I'm like, can I play? Is it okay? Is it okay if I play? Like, they don't really need me there much anymore. I'm having a fun time watching them do it. Every once in a while, I'll jump in. We did get to a boss that they finally were like, Dad, we can't beat this guy. So yeah, but it's just fun. Like, I mean, that's all I can really say about it. It's that kind of game.
I like that you can scrape through the game by just completing the levels.
Yep.
So there's no like you don't there hasn't been a point yet where I've had to go back because I haven't had enough stuff to go forward.
Mm-hmm.
And that there's enough help in the game with like the little Professor Owl
Yeah.
guy that sits there and tells you like, oh, you've missed this ability.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To make the game easy to play. But then at the same time, the platform element of it is quite difficult. I'd never played a Kirby game before, so I'm trying to trying to learn the Kirby lore of like the float only lasts for so long, but you can't attack really while you're floating unless you breathe out, and that just knocks people out. So there's a lot I've had to learn, which has been an interesting journey. But yeah, it's great. It's a good one to pick up for the first Kirby game. So.
Yeah, that's cool. I didn't realize this was your first one. Yeah, and I was gonna say, Waddle Dee Town. That's what I was gonna say. I really enjoy Waddle Dee Town. So the kids love it, which I think is also why I enjoyed so much. You know, like you get enough Waddle Dees and something else pops up, and they're like, "Oh, we got something new. This is great." You know, so they're really loving that. So
have they found all the codes?
All the codes?
Yeah, the special delivery guy codes.
Oh no, I don't know of it. I don't know of these special delivery codes.
Yeah, so there's a guy that you can speak to, and he looks like a mailman. And if you give him certain passwords, you can you only get coins and rare stuff.
Is that where I'm supposed to put in the demo code?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know where we were supposed to go, to be honest, and so I hadn't really done it yet. Oh, okay. Well, now I'll have to look for him.
I like all the mini games as well. So the fishing's fun. The Cafe Rush style mini games fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what Hambone was just saying. His son likes the cafe mini game the most. Yes, and my kids love that. My son loves to go through the battle boss rush arena with me, so that we can go and just kind of beat on some bosses. I like the funny the RPG light thing it has too, where it's like find these stars, upgrade your abilities. I think that's fun. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool. That's me in games. That's everything I got. Psychonauts, Kirby.
Same here. So for games that have come out this week, let me get our new little list up because we've been all fancy and made a sheet. So between the now and the last time we made the podcast, Narco, F1 Racing 2021, and a Memoir Blue have dropped. I can't even remember what those games are. I looked at them earlier as well. I thought I was sat at work. I thought I would go through them all. I would do this, but I think Narco is the point and click narrative style game that's a bit 16-y bit. And Memoir Blue is a story style game. And that's as far as I can remember. I watched all the videos through and read the descriptions thinking I'll try and be on top of it, but it's now 20 past midnight and my brain's not working.
You know what? I didn't watch the videos. The Memoir Blue is a narrative driven game about her reconnecting with I think her kid, her daughter to be exact. So yeah, but that's about all I know as well too.
Yeah. So I don't know how Narco works as a point and click narrative style game on the Xbox because obviously you lack the touchscreen or a mouse. But it seemed to be quite an in-depth narrative style. So there was a lot of dialogue to get through. So yeah. But for games that have dropped this week, we've got Crusader Kings 3.
That's been out for a while. That was a PC game. That was on the PC version.
Yeah, I was going to say that's
for a while. Yeah.
What do you call them? Civilization style game, isn't it? Where you kind of build.
Yeah, something like that.
And what came out today was the Weird West, which Hambone said he was trying to get into.
I'm going to give it a go.
You were going to have a look.
Yeah.
I'm going to say you thought your thoughts initially were that it was a little bit too horror horror.
Well, I don't know about that. It just like at first I thought it seemed. I mean, it's in the title, okay? So it's my bad, all right? I mean, it's not on them. It's called Weird West. What did I freaking think? And then when I started to watch the trailer, I was like, oh shit, this is weird. Okay, good. I'm glad they nailed the title. But yeah, it just seems a little maybe too weird for me. But I'll give it a go, see what I think. Maybe I'll love it. That wouldn't be the first time that's happened. But yeah, it does feel a little weird.
Yeah. Games that are coming out quite recently as well. Xbox Game Pass Twitter account is currently dropping a lot of stuff about the Major League Baseball, the show 2022.
Yeah.
That seems to be their new flavor of the week. That comes out on the 5th of April, which could be quite interesting. I've never played a baseball game ever, so that could be quite interesting. I might drop into that and kind of maybe if I can get time to stream it. That's the issue I've been having. I'm struggling to get to stream it. I might stream my first take with that, and people can laugh at how poor I am and trying to understand the rules.
Oh, you'll have to tell when you do it. Let me know. Maybe we can join up. I'm not a baseball guy either. I mean, like, so maybe we can look like idiots together. Because yeah, I know nothing about the show. I mean, I know the basic of baseball rules, and that's about as much as it goes. So why not look like idiots together? Yeah, they got to have a drop here pretty soon, I think. This calendar looks really sparse. I mean, the show is basically what we got, and then the Chinatown Detective Agency, which we talked about last week.
We've got things like Marauders, which is taking its time to come out for any dates for that. We've had Stalker, which is now delayed, and Turbo Golf Racing, which looks like a racing game based on Rocket League.
That's exactly what I thought. It's like if you took mini golf and Rocket League and smashed them together, that's what you get. So Hambone, keep that on your radar. You might, I don't know, man. I don't know. I know you loved Forza, and I know you love golf. So Turbo Golf Racing coming to Game Pass News. No date yet, but might be up your alley.
And then like later on, for later on in the year, we've got Schnobbelite, which is coming out at the end of April, which has got my attention quite well, but that's not coming to Game Pass.
Yeah.
So that might be one that I drop a bit of cash on. But as for games that come to Game Pass for later on in the year, which is where you're saying we need a bit more information, please.
Yeah, they got to be
2 Point Campus and Pac-Man Museum. So
now, listen, I do have to say, Ninfrendo mentioned this about Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild got pushed. 2 Point Campus, I was hoping would have another 15-point spread to up my thing. Breath of the Wild 2 was my fantasy critic. I mean, it was like my cornerstone of my entire team, and Nintendo just wrecked my fantasy critic life. So, but I'm not dropping it, John. I've decided I'm not dropping it. I'm gonna sit on that ship and I'm gonna sink with it. That's my plan. So that's what I'm doing.
So so that's information about games that are coming soon. Like I say, we're due an E3 style event. We need an E3 style event.
We're doing E3. That's not going to happen.
But I'm not going to touch on things that are going because they haven't changed yet. They're still the same as they were before. As for games that are coming to the golden ticket, you still have Flaming Flood, which is still there, which leaves yesterday for me, so today for you still. If you listen to this as of from Saturday onwards, that drops off the game, but the golden ticket on the 31st, and is potentially going to be replaced by Hue or another site. Or both of those games might be coming because SpongeBob's dropped off as well. So
yeah, I think they're both coming.
Another site, are now live in the UK, or as of Saturday.
And if you're listening and not watching, they're live for you too, no matter where you are.
Yeah. As for me, the only one I'm quite interested in picking up is MX versus ATV Alive, because that's a take your brain out play kind of off-road racer. So.
I am going to see if I remember to Ninfrendo, I hate to break it to you, pal. Yeah, it got canceled about 5 hours ago. something like that.
Oh,
3-4 hours ago. E3 digital and physical is officially canceled. So yeah, I gotta go grab Flame in the Flood, because I said I was gonna do that for the last month. So now I need to really do it.
Yeah, you've got 4 hours.
Yeah, I'll do that when we hop off here. I really will.
And yeah, we didn't get many questions this week from the community. We had some responses as to the guide, like gaming with guides from
John, Dads
John
After Dark.
from Dads After Dark. Yeah. So you have to bear with me. Like I kind of as we record, I slowly start to have like mental deficiencies and tail off.
Mental deficiencies.
But,
well,
yeah.
You know what? I had mental deficiencies when we started recording, and they're still there. So I mean, no worry. We're about at the same capacity now. So
I've been awake for about 21 hours, so I'm starting to get quite tired.
Well, sir, send us out so you can get some sleep.
Humbo Johnny says Xbox is going to do an E-Me event. So no, I hope we get something. I hope that they do like an Xbox Showcase Live again, because I enjoyed that event last year. That we got like so many world premieres.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with all the stuff that came out. I hope we have something of that similar style soon.
They'll definitely do it. It'll just, it'll be on their own time whenever they want. Don't expect it in June. I don't expect it like the first like E3 June. They may do it in May. They may do it in July. That's kind of the thing. I think that's the thing that they love. It's like, well, I don't got to scramble to get something around for June for E3. I can do it whenever I want. Yeah. And everybody will show. Like I said, ain't nobody not going to show. I'm not going to be like, well, it's not E3, so I won't be there. I'll be there. Don't worry.
There's another sheet that I think we should add, and that's a calendar of big games that are going to be coming out. So we can maybe start making some kind of predictions of how things are going to go in terms of that, and when Xbox are maybe going to do some kind of event drop.
That's a good idea. You mean games that are announced? Because that's just like Starfield. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think of.
Wasteland out there.
It's like you've got 2 Point Campus in middle of May, and Starfield, which is the only game that hasn't yet been delayed. What else have they got? So
if that gets delayed, man, I don't know. I mean, no what to say about that.
Well, it'd ruin the whole intro video if they did delay it, because it was in the coordinates for the launch coordinates in the video.
I know, yeah. It ruins everything for Bethesda, because isn't that they chose that date specifically because it's 10 years. 10 years since Skyrim, or 9 years? I can't remember. It's a specific 10 years. 10 years since Skyrim. Yeah, I knew it was something like that. So yeah.
So anyway, I will take us out, and then I can try and get some sleep.
There you go.
Because it's tired time for the UK people. Tired time. So tired.
All right.
Anyway, yeah, thank you very much for listening. Our socials at Game Pass News. That's over Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. Please give us a subscribe on YouTube, because it's the next place we can push to live. If you're listening to this in your podcasting app, please give us some feedback. Give us a couple of stars. Helps us get through and beat the algorithm on those. If you want to join us on Discord, subscribe to the Twitch channel. If you don't want to subscribe to the Twitch channel, head over to patreon.com/Nintendo Dads. And for $1 a month, you can jump in on their Discord over there. And that's where we kind of sit and operate. Thanks very much to Hambo and Johnny and Infrendo for jumping in on a live chat. It's nice to have you with us. And until next time, guys, we'll see you later.
See you later, guys.